business is getting into this thing using a bent coat hanger and a crowbar. Some padding on the top. Hopefully it helps a little bit. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, now we're in the car. It's time to do a quick walk around. We'll have a look under the hood. We'll have a look at the interior and of course the exterior. It would be awesome if we could find the key somewhere inside here. It's not in the ignition, but let's see what we have. What did our friend buy? Some pillows. When was this? 2007. That's 18 years ago. Like I said. Rubber for the gas pedal. Whoa, this is like brand new. Nice one. Light bulb. 2 light bulbs. This is paying for itself, this free car. Post-it note. Oh, some cryptic code. Another fun fact is this car belonged to our friend and colleague, but before that it belonged to one of our bosses, and apparently he was a really neat guy, or he was very careful of this car. Alright, another time capsule. Is there a date? 2007. No key hidden. Not a single one of these is valid still. Oh, this one is. 3 light bulbs. We're gonna have to pay for this thing. Another soft drink. Hope we find something really embarrassing in here. We can put it on the internet. A road map of the northern parts of Sweden. Is that the right stereo? Yeah. Fuses. Oh! Shit, 4 light bulbs. Scraper. This is in case you hit some wildlife, I think. A key, but not the key. Here's that FM transmitter, I think. No key. No. Oh, this looks like some good stuff. Oh, we're gonna need that. That is such a bonus. Thank you, Krillo. Some other good stuff. Old. More old spark plugs. These don't look like they should be for this car. Fuel filter. And all of this. Oh! What? Is that for a door? Because there's a key here. We'll try it, of course. More window cranks. More door handles. Nope. No cigar. It's the right type of key, but it won't work. Ah, what's it gonna look like underneath this? Hope there's no rust. Usually we're in a really good area for rust. There's no salt on the roads. There's no ocean in the area, or even close to us. So usually we're pretty good with the rust up here. But when it's this thick, I don't know. I did pop the hood from inside the car. Gonna have a look. So far it looks really good underneath here as well. It's pretty dry. Yeah, looks pretty good. Sure. It's pretty packed. Yep. So pretty much the only thing we know about this car is it had some kind of oil leak. We don't know how bad it was, and we don't know where it's coming from, but that's what we know. There was a little bit of an oil leak. So we're going to check the oil level right now. It's got some oil in it, below the minimum, but it's got some, and it looks all right. What we're gonna do now is get all the spark plugs out, get a little bit of oil in the cylinders, and then we'll try and turn it over by hand. If we're really unlucky, some like moisture might have gotten in there, but it drove to where it's sitting now, so hopefully it turns over. Not looking too bad. A bit burnt at the tip. And a little bit green. Shouldn't be green. Using one of these super cheap little boroscope cameras. Can get them anywhere on the internet. It's basically a cable attached to your phone. Maybe a little bit overkill, but because I have it, it's interesting to see what it looks like in there. Carbon, of course. Oh, look at that. That's that sweet cross hatching you want to see. Okay, there are some chunks in there. Hopefully that's some carbon that's worked its way loose and it's not rust off the top or somewhere. Can't do much about it now. And I'm just gonna pump some motor oil into every one of these, and then to lubricate it. Alright, I took all the spark plugs out, had a look inside, and sprayed them down with some motor oil. All of the cylinder walls look great. Cross hatching, no rust. And the top of the cylinders look a bit grimy, but they carbon buildup and stuff. Hope it's good enough. So with some oil in there, I'm gonna try and turn it over on the crank bolt for the first time in 18 years. Oh, easy. And there's compression straight away. Feels like good compression. Is it in gear maybe? I think it's in gear. I would have been crazy compression, but it was in gear. Crazy compression for a petrol. I can still feel some compression, and it turns over nice and quiet. Silent Bob here is removing the old battery. Oh, that's a nice connector. Just broke in half.
Silent Bob.
Sådär. Sebbe brought a universal battery clamp. Perfect. We've decided if we're gonna try and get this running today, it's gonna be a better approach to remove the steering wheel and try and do what we did with the Golf. Drill out the ignition barrel so we can turn the key, unlock the steering, and run the ignition and turn the motor over that way. The steering wheel's off. We're gonna loosen all of these electrical connections on the back, remove the indicators, all that stuff, and see if we get enough room to drill out the ignition barrel. Turns out this ignition barrel is exactly the same type as the Mark II Golf. So we can go off exactly the same measurements like we did last time. And I guess what we're learning today is if you get free cars, you don't get keys. Are we gonna have the same success like last time? The hole is there. What you're trying to do is hit a clip that's holding this. Ho! It's just as good the second time. What we did is remove the ignition barrel, and that's what this thing looks like. That's the shape that goes into the ignition switch. But a 7mm kind of goes on there with a little bit of force. The clock is ticking. Oil pressure light, battery light, handbrake, I think. Yep. So we got some kind of life. Should we see if it cranks? Okay. It cranked. What we didn't do when we turned it over was disconnect the incoming fuel, which wasn't that great, but I think the fuel pump works because it kind of drew fuel already. So we're gonna try and just bottle feed it to start with, see if we get any kind of life. Before we top up the oil, we need to top up the oil. And we usually don't get rats.
Ska du prata när du har mat i munnen?
Mm.
Okej.
Mhm. Mhm.
Massa för oss.
Ja.
Kollat en YouTube-video.
Mhm. Oh yeah, clean enough. All right, first attempt to start this thing. Little bit of carb cleaner in there. Okay, Sebbe. Ja. Ja. Prova gasa. It only wants to run on the starter fluid, carb cleaner. All right, we're thinking a lot of the fuel went into the return line and we don't need that right now. So we're just gravity feeding it to see if it wants to stay running on the gasoline. Oh, stop. Okay, prova igen. Alright, we did a little bit of troubleshooting off camera. The symptoms was we couldn't really suck any fuel into the carb. We tapped on just on the outside, see if we could loosen up the float or the needle and seat. Perhaps that did it. We removed this thing, come and have a look. We removed this fuel shut-off valve. After we worked it a little bit, it works off the ignition. This shuts the fuel off to the carb. And the third thing is we basically put a bit more pressure on the fuel line, kind of imitating the fuel pump, and this is basically the results. So the fuel filter is filled up. I'm gravity feeding the fuel system. Great success. Woohoo! Ja. Ta foten istället. So it's running, kind of, still more work, but what we thought we could do is fill up the tires like you saw and then try and move it, but we need some kind of fuel system. So we're going to try and rig something up with this empty space where we can mount a little fuel tank, a fuel jug as a tank, and then try and run it off of that to move it up to this space where we can get a better look at it. Hopefully this can work as a return line, like so. Hur lätt som helst var dit. Tänkte typ att det skulle lossna. Okay. This one was the return to the fuel tank. It's now going back into this jug. This was the incoming fuel from the tank, and that's now feeding from this jug. We'll see if it works. we couldn't get it in gear. So we're thinking this clutch cable is a little bit too short, or too long. We need to shorten it. One more try. Perhaps, I think the clutch disc might have been stuck to the flywheel. Maybe we broke it loose. We could tell the thing was kind of overheating. It's cold down here, so the thermostat isn't opening like it should. We're gonna try and run it without a thermostat at all. See if that works better for us. Don't want to overheat it straight away. Jävlar vad dåligt egentligen. Det är iskallt. One of the best things about getting a free car from one of your friends is when you get out here, you can just borrow a bucket of water or go borrow some electricity from over there. Those are actually the neighbors to our friend who's giving us the car. So what we've done now is we noticed it was overheating, so we're just filling it straight up with water now and running it without the thermostat. And while Sebbe went to pick up the water, I wasn't filming, but I'm pretty sure I managed to break the clutch plate free from the flywheel, so we should be able to get it in gear now. Silent Bob filling up the water. Oh, no. It runs and it drives. It's not the steadiest. It has a massive vacuum leak from the rubber flange underneath the carb. I mean massive. Like this is, I'm surprised it runs this well. But we took it for a little test drive. We're gonna tow it the rest of the way back home. Hur galet? Oh shit! Oh shit!
Körde du handen ner i fläkt?
Handleden rakt in i fläkt. Tur att den var mjuk. Okay, so we're bypassing the thermostat. There's no thermostat. The fan is plugged in so that we can run it all the time. The sensor doesn't seem to kick the fan on. We got that sketchy fuel tank, a massive tear in the carb flange. Then we got a couple of doors not opening, that oil leak that we need to chase later. It's got a lot of oil caked on the outside of the engine. Little fixes, this is a great success. Imagine the transformation, polishing, maybe lowering it. Rims, oddball rims, keeping those center caps for sure. So happy this worked out. Ska jag backa in där? Säg till! Nej, sätt inte skjutsen här då.